Hello. Today I wanted to talk to you about this cool new thing that I discovered. It's not really very new. I heard about it through I can't remember what video, but it was a video on YouTube about Prismacolor watercolor pencils. And I think it was the one from like Blick Art Supplies or something. I can't remember. Sorry, my voice is kind of weird because I'm sick yet again. But the whole idea is to make kind of like a sheet of watercolor pencil pigment that you can use as kind of a palette. So this is just watercolor paper that I've scribbled Prismacolor watercolor pencil pigment on. You kind of have to scribble them like very, very thickly, so I think you can kind of see that the color has to be kind of waxy on the paper. So you basically just scribble it until it gets waxy like this. And then you know that there's going to be a lot of pigment on here to play with. I've already used this palette. I painted this painting to test it out. This is a artist, like one of those Strathmore artists trading cards that I rounded the corners of, and I kind of just played with it. So it's like the view from my backyard. I don't know if you can see it. My camera's not very good still, so, but yeah, it works pretty well. As you can see, this is what I've used. I used a lot of greens for this and some browns, a little bit of red, but pretty much, I mean, you could use it for at least a couple of small paintings. This is small enough to fit into like my Midori notebook, or if I cut it a little smaller, it'll fit into my passport sized one. I think it might even fit now into my passport size Midori. I'm not really sure, but I thought I would kind of reload some of it because I used up quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to need those colors for this painting that I'm going to do, this little inking of a rose that I drew. Not a very good rose, but this is basically what you do. You just scribble onto it to refill it. Like if you've used a lot of the colors, you'll just get your Prismacolor watercolor pencils out and scribble onto it. Even if it's smeared, doesn't really matter. The only thing to be aware about these watercolor pencil palettes is that you can't lift very much. You have to be pretty quick if you want to lift color off. Like this one, I tried to lift the sky off to make clouds, and it wasn't very successful just because once it dries, you basically can't lift it. Not the way actual watercolor pigment is. So that's something to be aware of. But let's get started and color this really quickly. I'm not very good at coloring, so it's probably not going to look that great, but sorry. Bear with me. And as you can see, it's all very bright. It's not too diluted. I mean, I'm using a water brush. So, and I'm spreading the color around, and I'm getting a lot of pigment just from one swipe of my brush. And that's why, if you wanted, you could use these for several paintings, just one sheet, because you'd only dab like a small part. You won't swipe across with your whole brush, because that would take out way too much color. But, you know, this is, I think, perfect for like your travel art journal if you just want to do like an ink and wash and you're not too concerned about like a whole big painting. If you're just going to color pictures of your food or something like that, this would be absolutely perfect. I'm not very good at coloring roses. I kind of have to have like the actual rose in front of me, which I don't. So I'm sorry, this is not very good. But you know, you get the general idea. And here's a dark olive color for the leaves. It works almost like those Peerless watercolor inks, which I really want to try, but they're a little too expensive for me, so I'm gonna wait and just use these instead. And it's kind of nice because I know I can refill these pretty inexpensively whenever I feel like I need more, whereas the Peerless ones, I mean, they're kind of expensive, so I don't know. And I just feel like if I get water on them, it might ruin the whole thing, and then I'll feel like I wasted my money. Whereas with these, if I end up screwing them up, and as you see, I kind of like play with them kind of roughly. I'm not very neat. Even if I do mess them up, I can just scribble right on top the dried stuff and get more. And it's not very expensive, so I really like it. I tend to like to mix right on top of the colors. Even if it's really messy, it doesn't matter because I can refill them really easily by scribbling on them. Kind of repeating myself here, but I think I'm okay. I hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, so not a perfect rose, but that's basically my fault. I'm too lazy to wait for the layers to dry to add more shading. Pretty much this will do. I just wanted to show you that it does create really vivid, bright colors because Prismacolor watercolor color pencils are very, very bright. And I think they're light fast. I'm not exactly sure. I know they used to put like light fast right on the packaging, but they don't anymore, so I don't know. But for art journaling, it should be fine. Hope you found this useful, and thank you for watching. Bye.